wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land, it have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none was slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live, land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city, are the hypest. We see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese, get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them, we not like check. We got gold and diamond, them think priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean I talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a marshal, I drop the Guyanese bomb for feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese slang, Guyana, that's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live, land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land, it have many water, many great sons and many daughters. Is we have the land, what many ask for, we never see Katrina or nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, we nah know none was slippy. Guyana, we say big up on the city. Enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live, land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Hello, Wagwan. I the nuclear family, every master one up fully. A one-time records, a 592, we think that. Hello, Wagwan.
A lot of you gon' vex, but I tell you, sometimes you just got to listen. There's a child in every home and every community. They will grow up to be symbols of unity. They'll be colorblind to race and ethnicity. That's the vision of a leader like President Irfan Ali. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. For too long we've been fighting one another. It's race against race, but in the end the country suffer. Oh, we were born here, not in India nor Africa. But if we can't get along, the foreigners gon' eat we suffer. We must put an end to racism. Let it end now with this generation. Together we'll develop this nation. Make Guyana the gem of the Caribbean. Don't listen to them wicked politicians who will divide us to win an election. Believe it or not, Guyanese no smarter than that. Yeah, I told you, It's your boy Padmore. Unity is the key. We are all one and we should be treated as one. Our ancestors were slaves and laborers, but the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color, when we bleed blood it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African and Indian. We're Chinese mix up, we're Amerindians. We're all Guyanese. Let's end this segregation. I'm appealing to Guyanese in the diaspora. We welcome you home. We've got a lot to offer. It's not the same place that you run away from. Come see the paradise Guyana has now become. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. It's a message. I just want you to understand. Stop and think for a minute. Really think for a minute. If we can't fix the present, then we should work on the future.
I hear we owe in the millions. He spent half on them girls, them Brazilians. But soon they are reckoning a come. The laugh them a go laugh, and run them a go run. Run, 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 run. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon. Do it very shortly. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Come real quick. You say we're wrong, why you're moving so frantic. He panting, he's sweating, he's trembling inside. You say I can't stay long for the ride. Bye. You're shorter than a GRA invoice. Smuggling, calling, let me make my choice. My choice. As Robin Hansel, watch how fast his story spell. Lamborghini price keep changing every minute. Fix it now, my friend. Make up your mind. We tired of the gimmicks. All them years you rip off the nation. Now you turn overnight big politician. I believe this song on Sinky mission. Just trying out your dodgy ex extradition. It's about change and new ambition, but we know it's just pure self-preservation. Why the paperwork tight, no more magician. Soon court gun tally for real submission. But people don't worry, have no fright, 'cause we gonna expedite the extra. As Robin and Sell, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin and Sell, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Some of you laughing, some of you crying. Please don't think the Guyanese stupid or stalling. They're living in mansion with pool and spouse. Guyanese living like church mouse. There is something really wrong here. This ain't right, this ain't right. That's why we wanna really expedite the extradite. As Robin and Sell, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin and Sell, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Do it very quick, do it very shortly. Expedite the extra time. Soon the FBI plane gonna land. Expedite the extra time. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Expedite the extra time. As Robin Hansel.
Wake up, the day is bright and I feel the blue. Turn your dial for your vibe, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Up the day is bright, time to feel the flow. From your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, your toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. To the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects, it's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your...
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. It is the 4th of March, 2026, and we're here yet again for another episode. I trust everybody had a peaceful and joyful holy celebration, especially my Hindu brothers and sisters. Nevertheless, we were hit with some very tragic news on Holi itself. where two young Guyanese would have lost their lives. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning and a few other things. Um, Morning to the persons joining us across the diaspora. Morning to the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. Morning to the persons joining us in the comment section. Please remember to share the live so that we could have the widest viewership possible. So, just to begin, again, condolences to the family of the two young Guyanese that lost their lives by drowning on Pagude. It was really a tragic situation. But somehow, we often have Guyanese who, despite what's going on, they never fail to surprise us with their actions. You know, they never fail to surprise us with their actions. Before I start with that story, I just want to share an experience I had. It was either Pagwa morning or the day before Pagwa on the morning. I think it was Pagwa morning though, early in the morning. So where I live, I have a cousin who lives a stone's throw away from me. Sometimes I talk about her here on this show, and anyway, we can get into that. So she lives a stone's throw away from me. We're very close, and on Pagwa morning, I think I went over there to wet her with some water. I did that, and then I was leaving where she was to go, I think, to one of these Chinese supermarkets that are in the area. Now, I was riding a scooter, and after I left her, I left her and I came back onto a main road in the community. And I was heading to a junction, a busy junction in this area that often has collisions because, as I said, a junction, and most times everybody don't want to stop. As of recent, because of the accidents at this junction, the Ministry of Public Works would have put in some speed humps at the junction. Anyway, so I'm approaching the junction and I'm seeing a silhouette, because I'm coming from a distance, of a person sitting on an electric scooter at the junction, not in the middle of the junction, but at one of the corners of the junction, but in the middle of the road, sitting on an electric scooter. Anyway, I'm riding, coming closer and closer to the person. When I got to where I could see who the person was, indeed, it was an electric scooter, and it was a young man. He doesn't look like a teenager. He has to be at least 9, 10, 12 at the most, right? Sitting on this electric scooter in the middle of the road. So I stopped and said to him, "What are you doing there? Why would you stop there in the middle of the road? What happened to you? I waiting on somebody." So I said, even if you're waiting on somebody, why in heaven's name would you wait for them on this electric scooter and not to say he's parked, he is stopped? So the road is running this way, right? He is stopped on the road this way, right? So his bike is facing, if the road running north to south, his bike is facing east to west on the road. In the road, sit down there. He ain't ride, he ain't do, he just sit down in the road there. Right? What happened to you? I bother you. Anyway, so my bike and I turn and I go in my way. Same time I look up the road, there's a car coming towards him. And only until this car is about 40 to 50 feet away from him, he pulls the electric scooter out of the road to allow the car to pass. Right? I just given you some scenarios. Well, a scenario that I have encountered with young Guyanese children, unsupervised, on the roads of this country. And you're not just talking about roadways, unsupervised Guyanese children about the place. Anyway, that's not the main point of the story. Well, that's the main point of the story, but I said that to come to this. So yesterday, there was a drowning. I think it's somewhere in Region 5, right? I saw the Minister of Education, saw the Minister of Health. I even saw the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce reach out to this family, offer words of condolence, shared in their grief, trying to console them, right? That's on one hand. On the next side, right, we had this.
Get to the line. This is the problem. This is the problem.
Now, let me say, this is in no way or means I am attacking this family. You guys are grieving. I understand that you have lost 2 young ones in your family. But some of the people on the road here, inclusive of Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan and the fugitive offender opposition leader Asadin Mohammed, I think you guys are absolutely despicable. Y'all are not human beings, and y'all are the lowest version of the term piece of shit. Right? The lowest version of the term pieces of shit, because it's multiple of y'all. So I'm not talking about solid feces. I'm talking about watery, the lowest form. Right? You ain't even got a binding agent to hold you together. That's the level of piece of shit I think all of you are. Vince Roy Jordan, Asadin Mohammed, and the majority of the idiots out here right now. Now, this image or this video that is sharing the screen with me now is a water treatment facility, right? The process that you're watching here now is called backwashing. The backwashing process is happening in a canal outside of the facility. Now, if you look at the video, we're going to mute the audio a bit. There's construction of drains on the left and the right-hand side. It didn't reach here yet because they're probably going to make a pool for this water to accumulate in and then run through. If you see there with the pipe, the white pipe is a culvert leading into the next drain. Now, first and foremost, I want to say it clearly. Whilst in Guyanese culture, countryside, and even in the capital city, in certain areas, people swim in trenches. It's not a swimming pool. It's not safe. So you cannot decide to blame the treatment plant or the people operating the treatment plant or the government, as you'll hear soon, for a facility doing what it's supposed to do. And then I heard they weren't swimming. I heard somebody said they were standing on the side and one slipped in. And then I think the girl slipped in and the boy jumped in to try to save her. 8 and 10. So let me take out the swimming part. 8 and 10 years old on the road by themselves. Right? Now, this facility is doing what it's supposed to, is backwashing. listen to how it's portrayed by Vince Roy. Listen to this.
That shit up there. I want it Uzu. Look at me up there. Divided between jobs. And this what they take.
So as I said before, this is exactly what caused the entire issue here to cause this crater. Every 4 hours or so, within a certain time frame, GWI has to backwash the filters within this water treatment plant. And every time, imagine if they're doing this 3 or 4 times a day, the water will come out of the system, come into this drain. Well, we shouldn't call it a drain, this ditch. And then as it fills up the ditch, it has nowhere to go. If you look again to my right this time, there is no clear.
Now, if you look to his right, Vince Roy Jordan doesn't tell you that. Okay, let me pull it up a little bit. Come back a little bit. So if you look at Vince Roy Jordan's, where his eyes are, right? And you just look to this side, not the side where the gentleman is standing up, on the other side, you see something like a concrete structure. So what Vince Roy Jordan doesn't tell you is that they're building concrete drains in the area and the facility still had to work. But in the building of the concrete drains and the flushing of the system, you can't have the water running on the concrete that ain't done set and them things are ready. So they block off the 2 sides to allow for the construction of the concrete drains on the side and kept that space there by the culvert so that the water goes over to the next side so that the facility could continue to do what it does. But Vince Roy Jordan, being the piece of shit that he is, and this is not anything about him being an Afro-Guyanese, it's about his character and his ability to lie and mislead the people of the country just to rile up people's emotions when they're hurting. And this is typical PNC tactics. When the nation is grieving over something or a loss of one of its sons and daughters, they come in and take that grief and try to spin it into some sort of political narrative. And this is what this piece of wet shit, Vince Roy Jordan, is currently doing here. So he presents some of the information. He then tells you the water has nowhere to go. And in the same video, shows you the water finding somewhere to go through a culvert, under the road, into the drain on the other side of the road. Let's continue with this, as I said, piece of shit, Vince Roy Jordan.
This time, there is no clearance for the water to go. To my left, there is also the same. The water is going to...
So, sorry.
And it's going to remain here. Water to go.
Look.
To my left, there is also the same. The water is going...
So you see, it's the concrete drains are being built out, right? So on the other side, they had like a dam thing to stop the water from going that way. This way probably has an outlet, right? Because there's no dam there, right? Now look at how the camera pans. Watch.
To go into this concrete structure and it's going to remain here. Come across the road. The pool.
So you see behind Vince right there, that's a culvert. Behind piece of shit Vince Roy Jordan ears, you see there's a culvert there. Remember he says the water has nowhere to go, right?
Drainage in the area coupled with that. So when the water comes across the road, this is what will happen. So it comes here and it goes into the playground and everywhere that the children are playing.
So first the water had nowhere to go. Now the water has some place to go over the road. Now the water going into the playground that we ain't seeing. Well, we see the playground, but I'm saying we don't see any water in the playground. We see the water being drained into a trench over the road from the facility. I swear to God, y'all understand me clearly. I never understood how my aunt could have associated herself with this level of stupidity. My aunt was a part of this organization, and she was a very intelligent woman. But this level of stupidity that is constantly exhibited by the PNC, APNU, and now levels of stupidity being taken over by the Win Party, it is unfathomable. Right? So he shows you an image. Firstly, remember, it black on one side. Then he said it got a concrete structure with nowhere to go. And he says all the water is pooling there with nowhere to go. Then he shows us the water finding somewhere to go through a culvert on the road into another drain over the road. And then he says the water flooding the ground. But their vehicles, I'm pretty sure those are their vehicles because they might not want to park on the road or whoever vehicle is that. So you trying to tell me a waterlogged ground, people gonna go and park there right next to the trench? They ain't gonna pick apart with dry. This is the waterlogged ground. One of them vehicles is an X-Trail. The other one looks like an SUV. The one in the middle is a car. These are heavy vehicles. This ground that you're claiming is being flooded. You going to park vehicles there, Vince Roy? Or whoever? I don't know if it's whoever going to park there, given what you're saying is happening there. Make it make sense, Vince Roy Jordan. Again, the levels of stupidity that is usually exhibited by this bunch could never get my support. Even if I wanted to say I am like David Hines, a Pan-African, pro-African, wherever he is, well, basically only out for Afro-Guyanese, isn't interested in any of the other races or anything else, right? I am wondering how people like me could throw support behind this. Foolishness. But let's continue.
And then if you look further up the road where the water is going, there is no clearance. The drains are clogged and with the road construction that is going on, everything is...
So, look, I try to make this funny, but you're costing the government. And at the same time, you got to say, well, hey, road construction going on in the area. Because remember, y'all didn't do it in that area, Vince, right? Region 5, where you're responsible. Y'all didn't do road construction in that area. So you notice how we hesitate to say road construction going on? Right? Because he doesn't want to give you all the information. What's happening in the area that could have probably caused these children to not walk on the road. You understand me? And to probably be up in the corner there. Right? So he just wants it to make it look like GWI and the government is the fault of this sad situation in relation to these two children. Sri Dr. Bindranath, I am of the same view, but we have to be mindful of how we express that view, right? I agree with you, but we have to be mindful of how we express that view because persons will take that and turn it into something else. That's why I'm trying to navigate this as best as I could, right? And the only persons I'm calling a piece of shit, Vince Roy Jordan, Member of Parliament, and the fugitive offender opposition leader, Azadine Mohammed. The liquidiest pieces of shit that you could find. Because those are the two idiots that went out there, you understand, to try to make this into something that it was not. This is an accident that happened. Right? This is an accident that happened. That they are trying to turn in to what? Oh, it's the government fault. It's the government fault. Foolishness. Right? Anyway, let me continue.
So the water will go to a certain point and it will stop. So again,
See, he doesn't carry you to show you where it's blocked, you know. Mind you, across this country, NDCs and RDCs given the rainy period that we were seeing was feverishly digging trenches so that the water got someplace to go. Feverishly doing it. At least in my community, I saw it in some other communities. Right? So he doesn't show you where it's blocked to see if there are building drains there or the road works. Or, he doesn't show you that. He's just talking a bunch of bunkum. Piece of shit, Vince Roy Jordan.
I want to say to those who might want to ask why we are up in arms with this, the government has failed our people.
Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
So it comes here and it goes into the playground, and everywhere that the children are playing.
So he trying to make it seem like the children can't play in the playground, so they got to play on the road. That's why they're falling. And that's why I tell y'all, this is not for the locals in the community who know what's going on, you know. This is like people overseas, like people in the States and Canada and those places who's helped them and send money to them to make it seem like they're actually doing work. Oh God, look all the water in the ground. Now look at when he has to say the road under construction. Look, listen to the hesitation in his voice.
And then if you look farther up the road where the water is going,
if you notice, the cameraman is trying his best not to show that there are ongoing works in the area. So maybe the sand in the road or wherever it is, the children decide to walk on the edge. Accident. This, oh gosh.
there is no clearance. The drains are clogged and with the road construction.
You see, the drains are clogged and with the road construction. So this isn't normally how this area is. This isn't normally how this area is. This is the government, the current government of Guyana, doing work in a community where the former government of Guyana, where Vince Roy Jordan had a voice for these people on the East Coast, didn't go into that area and put in a water treatment plant. Didn't go into that area and do the roads. Didn't do the drains. Right? So to save face, look, all of this here, this is the reason the children fall overboard. Piece of shit, Vince Roy Jordan. You should be ashamed of yourself. But as I tell people, not an ounce of shame in any PNC member or representative in power. Not an ounce of shame. These are, and you'll see why I say that a little later. These are shameless individuals.
What is going on? Everything is blocked. So the water will go to a certain point and it will stop. So again, I want to say to those who might want to ask why we are up in arms with this.
Exactly, people can ask you why. Because what you trying to do here is shift blame. Shift blame. Right? Shift blame. Any normal person would say 8 and 10 years old on the road by themselves with the parents. What it was doing on the road. But people understand that this family has suffered a loss and the grieving. So a time will come for those questions to be asked. Right? A time will come for those questions to be asked. But typical PNC piece of shittery, they don't care. They don't wait. They want time and place. As soon as they activate right away. Any situation, activate. Activate. Whether it makes sense or not, activate.
Government has failed our people because they continue to.
So, you see with Toronto now, the government has failed our people. Honest to God, I tell you guys, sometimes I really am disenchanted with Guyana. You know, when you see the efforts being made by certain sections and the lack of effort by other sections and the willingness of the other sections to take anything and jump on it like blood-sucking eels. Don't be surprised to see Vince Roy Jordan do just like Dexter Todd. Get two cuts out of these poor little children and got them up in Parliament to pull on the heartstrings of Guyanese. Don't be surprised if it happens. You understand? Now, he is talking about a government that failed the people. Vince Roy, if your government had built a water treatment plant in your time, we wouldn't have had this problem, according to you. If your government did the drains in that area in the time when they had the opportunity to do it, we wouldn't need to be building drains right now. Vince Roy Jordan, you piece of shit. If your government had built the roads in the area, they wouldn't have no reason to tear up the roads, and it would have been intact, and the children would have had a place to walk. You understand? No. And it thief the mace, and it grabbed the mace and fall down. He was a part of the bunch, though. Right, Vince Roy? Anything that has to do with development in Region 5, this guy is completely against. Do you remember before the Honorable Minister Sonia Prague took up her new portfolio as Minister of Education, she went into that region number 5, to a community center or something, to see how they can activate this facility for the youths in the area, equip it with computers or whatever it needs to get things done. This piece of shit organized other pieces of shit from the area to block the minister from seeing the facility, you know. She ain't come with no lawyer, no magistrate to write over the transportation name or nothing. She came. Somebody saying, wait, man, what part of the East Coast this thing happened? Hold on, let me see. Because I know he's the Region 5 representative. Just a second. Anyway, Vince Roy Jones, Region 5 representative. Enterprise, somebody saying Melanie. Then somebody said East Coast. Okay, I see 2 Melanies. Well, that's Region 4 indeed. Enterprise is Region 4 as well. Okay. Vince Roy Jones is representative for Region 5. But again, I'm saying to y'all, when the minister tried to bring development to Region 5, this guy stopped it. Right? This guy stopped it. This guy went with a bunch of people to try to bully a female minister. To try to bully a female minister that was bringing development, that his administration, that this idiot Vince Roy Jordan couldn't lobby Granger, Harmon, nobody to bring to this area or to Region 5 where Minister Prague went to visit. I stand corrected. This incident happened in Region 4. So he out the area, he like a fish out of water. But go back to Region 5, brethren. Go back to where you belong. Anyway, let me continue.
Sit and have contractors who do substandard work, who
hold on, let me go back.
Construction that is going on. Everything is blocked. So the water will go to a certain point and it will stop. So again, I want to say to those who might want to ask why we are up in arms with this, the government has failed our people because they continue to sit and have contractors who do substandard work.
So what is the substandard work? The road is under construction. The drains are under construction. What constitutes substandard? Who's calling me these hours? Hello. I'm live right now. Yeah. Good. Anyway, let me go.
Have no care for what is happening in the environment that they're doing the work. People.
I can check with Public Works to see if it's somebody from the area doing the works in the community. Remember, Public Works was pushing for persons in the area to do these things. I can find out, you know. I don't want to call now, but I can find out. I can tell y'all tomorrow. But even before I continue playing Vince Roy video, I want to say this. And I want to be absolutely clear about it. 2 innocent children have lost their lives. 2 young lives gone far too soon. Right? A family is shattered by grief and a community struggling to come to terms with this heartbreaking tragedy. And in moments like this, decent human beings pause, they lower their voices, they stand with the grieving, they show compassion. But what we witnessed instead was something deeply disturbing by this idiot here and the fugitive offender opposition leader. Within hours of these children losing their lives, the fool, Azadeen Mohammed, fugitive offender opposition leader, it's an acronym for that. The fool, Azadeen Mohammed, and this fool on your screen here, rushed to the scene, not quietly, not respectfully, but with the familiar political playbook in hand. Instead of comforting the grieving family, the tragedy was immediately turned into a political platform. Vince Roy cameras appeared, Azadeen cameras appeared, statements start flying all over the place. Now blame is being pushed at the government. This is clearly a constructed narrative. This is clearly a constructed narrative. And suddenly, the deaths of 2 innocent children are being used as political ammunition. Vince Roy Jordan, Member of Parliament, and fool Azadeen Mohammed, that is not leadership. That is political exploitation. Because when decent leaders arrive at a tragedy, they come with empathy. They come with humility. They come to comfort the grieving. But political opportunists arrive looking for microphones. And that is exactly what Vince Roy and Azadeen Mohammed did. What makes this even more troubling is that this is a familiar pattern we continue to see from elements aligned with the APNU and individuals like Azadeen Mohammed and the Win Party. A constant attempt by these people to manufacture outrage, to amplify grief, to turn crisis into a political spectacle. Tragedy becomes theater. Grief becomes a piece of shit like Vince Roy Jordan's campaign opportunity. But this country must ask itself a very serious question. If some people are willing to exploit the death of 2 children for political mileage, what exactly will they not exploit? Because there's a difference between leadership and opportunism. Leadership respects the pain of families. Opportunism looks at tragedy and sees headlines. Leadership comforts. Opportunism performs. And that was a shitty performance by Vince Roy Jordan and Asadine Ma. I wouldn't even play Asadine video because the ignorance he talk out there alone. I tell you, bye. Once Asadine is not in front of a chat GPT script, all bets are off. He has nothing to say. Or what he says is repeated rhetoric. Listen to it. Persecution, the PPP, one thing over and over again. Right? Over and over again. So again, I'm saying to the two of you, the fool and the Region 5 represent, I don't know if he represents Region 5 still, Vince Roy Jordan. Leadership brings people together in moments of grief. Opportunism divides and inflames. And sadly, what we saw in this situation was not leadership. It was political vultures circling a tragedy. 2 little children lost their lives. A family is now broken. A community is mourning. Mourning. This was not a moment for political speeches, political cameras, or political theatrics. This was the moment for decency. And the sad reality is that some people simply fail that test. Time and time again, the supporters of these opposition parties see their leaders failing the test. Miserably at that. Not just, you just go on the pass, man. 10 marks out of 100. 2 marks out of 100. Miserable failures. The people of this country deserve better than leaders who rush to tragedies looking for political advantage. Because true leadership understands some things very simple. Some moments demand humanity before politics, and the death of 2 innocent children should never, ever become a political stage. So, again, shame on you, the 2 of you, for going to that area and trying to turn this into something that it's not. Right? That aside, we're moving on. Now, I often hear opposition persons complaining about lobbying forums, the government hiring lobbying forums, and who never hire lobbying forum, and who now hiring lobbying forum, and who paying cash up front, and all kind of thing. I am personally of the view that people like Terence Campbell shouldn't be in Parliament. People like Vince Roy Jordan shouldn't be in Parliament. These guys are literally bottom of the barrel politicians. You understand? bottom of the barrel politicians. And this even speaks to the leadership being given by Aubrey Norton. Whilst Terence Campbell is in charge of the PNC's business in the National Assembly, Aubrey Norton is in charge overall. Aubrey Norton tomorrow, you hear me, could recall Terence Campbell, all of them on the APNU side. Aubrey Norton can recall all of them and put himself back in Parliament and who he deems fit. Right? So Aubrey Norton, we're blaming you for this miserable failure in a Terence Campbell. Right? Now, this is another post by Terence talking about the APNU, they need lobbyists and they ain't gonna do this and that. And they already do it, Terence. You already do it. It's not nothing new. Y'all just dealing with lobbying people. Y'all deal with lobbying form. You know what's the long and short of this? Terence Campbell just exposed to us his own political ignorance. Right? So Terence Campbell's post was supposed to demonstrate some form of integrity. It does not, Terence. It does not. It demonstrates a shocking lack of political knowledge on your part. A shocking lack of political knowledge. Any serious political figure in Guyana knows that the APNU AFC itself hired US lobbyists in 2020 during the elections crisis. When did they try to thief the elections? I go to say Clarence. Terence, you remember the dossier? Who they pushing it to the people in America? I keep going to say Clarence again. Terence is pretending lobbying is something only the PVP does. Either he doesn't know the history of his own coalition, or he's deliberately misleading people. The APNU hired lobbyists when they were in trouble. The irony here is almost comical. Terence claims the PNCR does not need lobbyists to avoid hot water. But when the APNU AFC was drowning in international pressure during the 2020 elections crisis, they quietly retained the US lobbying firm through Joseph Harmon and David Patterson. If lobbying is such a moral sin today, why didn't Terence's own coalition run to Washington when it got pressure? Why did they run to do the same thing when they got pressure? Terence Campbell, selective memory is not integrity. Terence is trying to sell a narrative of integrity, but we are seeing selective memory and political convenience being exhibited by Terence Campbell. When the APNU hired lobbyists, it was accepted. When the government of Guyana hires lobbyists to defend the country's sovereignty and national interest, suddenly it becomes a scandal. This is not integrity. That being what is being exhibited by Terence is political hypocrisy. Right? No. Lobbying is a standard international practice. Terence's post also exposes a rookie-level understanding of international politics, governments, cooperation, and political organizations around the world. all of them hire lobbying firms to engage policymakers in Washington. It is a normal diplomatic and strategic tool. Pretending otherwise only shows how shallow Terence Campbell's grasp of global politics really is. Now, again, the APNU's own record contradicts Terence. The APNU's record is clear. The APNU retained a lobbying firm in 2020 during the elections crisis. The firm listed the APNU AFC coalition as a client. This arrangement was solidified through senior APNU figures. So before Terence Campbell lectures anyone about integrity, he should first educate himself about his own party's history. What we're seeing here by Terence Campbell, is political posturing, not leadership. Instead of offering serious political analysis, Campbell chooses to engage in cheap social media theatrics. Real leadership requires facts, context, honesty. What Terence delivered was grandstanding built on a contradiction that took 5 minutes. Right? Terence was grandstanding. And simple research, 5 minutes of research, would contradict everything that he said. And that's why I say these people are among the laziest politicians you could find. And I would say probably even lazier than Win. To say some foolishness like that could be easily contradicted. Now, I want to say this plainly. If this is the APNU's intellectual bench, it is very concerning. When a sitting member of parliament makes such an easily debunked claim, it raises a bigger question. Is this the level of political understanding inside the APNU benches? Because if an MP doesn't even know his own coalition hired lobbyists before, then his commentary on national political strategy should be taken with extreme skepticism. We gotta watch Terence. This is like Coretta McDonald sitting at the budget debates this year and telling the reporters the Because We Care cash grant is not enough, when the administration that she represents now in opposition took it to zero. And sometimes that's why I'm disappointed with some of my colleagues out there. Because honestly, I would have asked when she did, it's only this amount of money you're getting every day per child. I would have asked under the APNU, where the Because We Care was moved from $10,000 to $0, what is the amount per day each child got when they received their $0 Because We Care cash grant? Right? that is some of the things I want them to ask them. Because Kurtika still don't want me to do an interview. Right? She's not going to sit with me to do an interview. Because everybody else will dance around the real questions. Azadeen Mohammed won't sit with me to do an interview. Azadeen's father could say there's nothing perfect in this life. There's no perfect businessman. But his son running around trying to pretend that there's some sort of perfect government out there where everything goes right, every contract is finished on time, nothing is wrong anywhere. And Azadeen Mohammed is trying to make us believe, after his father says, there's no perfect businessman, there's no businessman that pays all your taxes. Azadeen trying to make us believe that he's a perfect businessman. He has never done anything wrong, never smuggled gold, never mail fraud, never wire fraud, no 11 counts against him, no ties to Hezbollah, no allegations of paper shots murder. Every single thing that comes against Azadeen Mohammed is absolutely fake and made up. Really? Anyway, Terence Campbell tried to lecture Guyanese about integrity. But in the process, he only exposed two things. His ignorance of his own party's history and the deep hypocrisy of the APNU coalition that hired lobbyists themselves when they were in political trouble. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Guys, I gotta get out of here. I got an appointment this morning. Right? I got an appointment this morning. We'll continue here tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you guys for joining the program. Please do remember to share the live, follow the pages, subscribe to our YouTube page as well. And as I usually say, before I go, it's all about peace, it's all about love, it's all about one Guyana.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all